This meeting is being recorded.
Hello, social workers, mental health professionals, and change agents. Welcome to another episode of the Social Work Rants Podcast. I'm your host, Bass Moreno. Saludos a todos. Greetings, everybody. Thank you for tuning in, tapping in wherever you are watching or listening to this podcast. Please follow the podcast on Instagram at the Social Work Rants Podcast. That's all one word. Follow the podcast on Twitter. Don't let Elon scare you. Follow me on Social Work Rants, and also hit the like button on Facebook, aka Meta. Just type in the Social Work Rants Podcast, hit that like button, and of course, hit that red subscribe button on YouTube. Thank you for everybody tuning in, tapping in wherever you're watching or listening to the podcast. Saludos a todos. Gracias por su apoyo escuchando el podcast. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Bass City Entertainment, your home for online holistic self-care, featuring poetry and online Zumba classes, featuring my poetry book, Triumph Through Pain, How to Maximize Your Full Potential During Hard Times, is available on Amazon on paperback and on Kindle in 2023 on some version of audio, probably Audible would probably be the best bet. So very busy. A lot of great things are happening and have been happening this year. And of course, make sure you pick up Latinx and Social Work Volume 2. I'm one of the contributing authors of the books already. Amazon bestseller. It is a juicy book. I finally finished the whole book front to back. It took me a couple of weeks off and on here, but I finished it. It's dope. Shout out to all the authors who really told some great stories and shared their truths, and definitely make sure you get a book. This is a brand new episode, so you have seen or heard of this man before. If you're not following him, especially he's like the king of TikTok. This is my first three time in terms of wrestling. Podcast guest Justin Gillespie out in Michigan. I think this is our first episode as married men. We both got married this year.
I just realized that. Like, that's actually, now that you said that, I was like, oh my God. Like, I actually forget I got married recently. Like, I got married back in August, and like, it's been like, how long has it been now? Has it been 4 months? I don't even remember half the time. It's so weird.
And we got married this summer too. I got married in June to start the summer. You got married to the end. So first, congratulations on the wedding.
Thank you so much. Congratulations to yours too. I should have like brought my belt today for like being the first 3-time person or something. Like,
it's funny because I actually was looking online and like contemplating getting like a half real kind of looking belt, but then I saw the prices. Like, nah, no.
I only have mine because I bought it for like $40 off someone or something. So it's like, I'm not spending $400 on one. But I will get the spinner belt one day. I don't care how much that one is. I'll get that one. It'll be good.
I love for pro wrestling. I keep telling people wrestling is life. So it's like we will hear some wrestling lingo throughout this episode. So social workers, bear with us today. But we're going to talk about social work and entrepreneurship. I know I spent a lot of time, especially on season 4, talking about entrepreneurship. You could go back to listen to some of those episodes, and I know the last time we spoke, we spent a lot of time on entrepreneurship, and we actually did a panel together this summer talking about how to monetize social media for social workers. I think I still have it on my link tree for purchase, so you want to go on my link tree and on my IG and get that, or there's a way for me to get that to you. So definitely a lot of great info. Some great guests. I definitely took a couple notes about it, and so it was great. We had a great turnout, and we kind of like moved forward from there.
Yeah, that turnout was actually really insane, especially for the speed that I put that out. So like, okay, hold on? Can I talk about like the behind the scenes of that part real quick?
No, of
I've never got to talk about this shit. Okay, y'all. So I have to tell y'all about this because I will never make an event that quickly ever again in my life, because I think literally like I've been wanting to do an event like that for like 2 years to get like all of like people I've watched and people I've created like with you and stuff like that, and just get everyone together and just get on a panel about like social market entrepreneurship, all that kind of stuff. And like I was so happy I did it, but like I did it in like less than like I think I like, got you, we got everyone on in like 6 weeks, just over 6 weeks. And then like I promoted that and I was like going at it, and like I've done events that quickly before where I was like, oh cool, I have like 6 weeks, I'm on the panel, whatever, right? I've never organized an event in 6 weeks. So I literally thought this would be how much harder could this be? Like you set up the link tree, or not the link tree, but like the Eventbrite link or whatever.
Right.
And you just set that up and you're good to go. And like, but I was like going at it for like 6 weeks trying to make this event even happen. So I was like losing my mind for 6 weeks, to the point where I actually had to like recruit a host for it and everything. And it was just like, it was a whole thing. It was fun, but I will never do an event in that speed ever again. So if your audience doesn't take anything from this episode, don't do an 8-person panel and organize that in 6 weeks, because that was like that was doing the most.
No, but it came out with, really good, and
It really did.
yeah.
No, like I'm actually proud of that. Like that's one of those things where I was like,
no, that's definitely a highlight of 2022. Definitely one of those highlights.
If I ever go back to like working for agencies, which hopefully I never will, because I have a lot of shit to say about that. But like, if I ever go back, like they're gonna be like, "What's your biggest accomplishment?" I created an 8-person webinar that had like over like what was it like? Was it like 200 people that came or something?
Yeah, like almost.
Literally,
at least,
like almost,
at least 150. Like no, it was,
I know we had like a 66% turnout, which for a free event is actually like not that bad, because we ended up like making it free for the most part, and then the final week of like registration we extended it and then just made it like a charge. Only a few people really bought it, but like it was mainly a free event, and like a lot of people came, and like usually you only see about 25% of people who come to free events.
Right. Yeah, actually I was listening to a podcast the other day, and people would rather support something that's paid, even though I'm like still struggling with that, but compared to a free live event. So it's like it's interesting. I'm glad people came, and there was a couple of people I recognized that was part of the audience, and just people turning out and listening, and kind of like following through to whatever like we had to say. And hopefully we just here to help out people make money that don't need agencies, don't need ASWB or pay licensing exams or anything like that, and use your social work skills to make some money doing what you're passionate and what you want to do.
I so agree, and I really feel like if you really pay attention to not even just in the social work space, if you pay attention to a lot of different industries right now, there's a lot of different industries like going into the coaching sphere, which I think like a few years back, I think it had like a ton of stigma with, and now I think it's becoming a little bit more acceptable, because I think the thing I would always hear even 2 years ago was like everybody's becoming a coach now and anyone can just do it. And I think the attitude toward it is really shifting. Not so much in the therapy space, because I feel like a lot of therapists, like I hear a lot of therapists talking crap about coaching, and not that I'm a coach, I'm a private practice therapist, but I do coaching for like social media and stuff like that for therapists. But like mainly I'm like a therapist, right? So I hear a lot of people just talking so much things in the therapy space about coaching, and I don't understand why. Just because I don't know. I think if you can show up and show out and show what you're an expertise in, you should be able to get paid for it. And I think that they found a way to do that where a lot of therapists just haven't gotten on board yet for some reason.
Yeah. I think there's just a little. I don't know what it is exactly. I know some of it has to do with the title protection and coming to like life coaches. At least a couple of them want to be like oh, I'm a therapist, or when you use the social work, you just say social work or whatever, and it's like, no, like what kind of credentials you have to call yourself that. So there's some of that stigma going on, but I don't care how you want to make your money, whatever. It's not affecting me. Like just make your money and do what you need to do.
I think that's where a lot of them come from. They look at it in a place of competition, and I really don't believe in that. Just because I think Whether you're a coach or a therapist, if you truly are the expert in what you are, which is why I always preach about niching down, finding your actual niche rather than being a generalist, right? If you can do that and do that confidently, there is no competition around you. There's only collaboration. There's only assistance for you around. Yeah. So I've eliminated that need for competition, or I'm sorry, not that need, but that fear of competition, because I truly believe that that feeling of competition really just diminishes your confidence.
No, absolutely, and definitely there needs to be even more collaboration. So that's something, to me to looking into going into 2023. More collabs and make money together with other people, and whether it be like another panel, summit, doing a talk, whatever. Like so, I'm open to to pretty much anything as long as I could fit it in the schedule, and I don't got to do much traveling or whatever, because parenting takes priority, and still
Oh,
newlywed and be husband and caretaker for my pop. So it's like
yeah,
it's
it's a
just a
lot.
lot. It's a lot.
Oh my God, it is. And you know what? I just had a conversation with my wife about this literally the other day, because we had talked about us starting to have kids like a year into our marriage or whatever, right? And so I'm kind of like just reevaluating my whole life. Now, she said a year. Okay. I said, no one showed this episode to my wife, by the way, but like she said a year. And then I said at least a year. Okay. So I put that at least for a reason, right? So I just kind of like looked at my wife, and I had to have a conversation with her recently. And I was like, okay, look, uh, I'm going to give you a date. And this is like how I have like everything planned in my life, like 2 years up until the point where we're going to start trying to have kids, right? So I said, okay, I'm going to give you June 1st, 2024. That's when we can start. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, because I need to at least have this next year and some change of months. Like, I need time to get like other stuff together right now, because I have like panels already coming up in this year coming up. I have my business I'm trying to expand for. One of my goals with my business coach right now is like I'm trying to work for my business full time, like for myself. Because right now I'm part of a group practice, and I've gotten a lot of my clients through there as like a solopreneur. And it's an awesome way to do if you're going to be a therapist, by the way. Like if you have a dream to actually be a private practice owner, don't knock going into a group practice first, especially if you can find one without a no compete clause, because these are practices that are designed for smaller therapists that actually want to go out and not have to necessarily start from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're having trouble with marketing and things like that, they will give you the clients. And then whoever you have, like let's say a year or two in, if you want to take them with you, as long as they're willing to come with you, whatever, you can take those individuals with you. So while you're at the group practice, you can start like filing your LLC, getting your NPI numbers, getting your insurance panelings done and things like that. Because those things take time. And that's
Right.
where a lot of people end up failing. It's like they try to do every single thing at once. And then they end up launching therapy while they're trying to get paneled, while they're trying to take cash-based clients, while they're getting their NPI. And it's way too much. And then these are how these practices go out of business in like 2 years, because they fade out before they even start. So if you build it while you're already getting clients, you're actually going to gain that confidence. And then as you're gaining those clients to the practice, you're going to start getting confidence in the sense of maybe I can start getting people on my own and start marketing in like Facebook groups or Instagram or YouTube or TikTok or anything. And you're just going to start getting those people in quicker.
I like that. That does make a lot of sense for those that are interested in doing that. So, like I said, you just have to. I've been preaching shooting your shots since kind of like pandemic kind of started. So it's just going into the new year, and social work month is already around the corner in March, and I already see like events already going on planned for March. So that I'm trying to like set my calendar already to, and hopefully I'll have enough PTO days. Be like, I'm taking this day, I need this day, I need this day, and then be out.
Exactly. Right.
That's so how you mentioned the married life. How's that going so far?
Married life is going really good, actually, but it's going good in the sense of like like I said earlier, like I forget I'm married. Like I don't feel like it's really changed a whole lot of us just because we've always had like a vibe. We've always been goal oriented. She's in grad school right now, so she's about to be finished, and then she's working full time. So we're already not really, in a weird way, like it's gonna sound really bad for your first year of marriage, but we're not really even seeing each other as it is, right? So we're like making time for each other and doing that kind of stuff. But like we went into this knowing like this is gonna be like the worst time for us. So like why don't we just like not only just embrace that, but just understand we are gonna be busy people and we're gonna be like building and going at it and take the next like 12 plus months or so and just really accept that. And then like when she's done with school, and I think when she get out like May, I think she's done in May. Yeah. So when she's done in May, it's gonna feel like it's not gonna be smooth sailing, but it's gonna feel like smooth sailing because then we have all this other time now too.
No, yeah, I think that's important that you have those conversations and I don't want to use the word expectations, but like kind of like that like understanding like this is what we want to do. We're trying to build, with a future in mind. So I like that you guys brought it up so early on, like in the
Mm-hmm.
marriage and have that understanding already. So I think people struggle with that, especially like if you like marry somebody and they don't know like social work and they see you like busy and stressed out and burnt out and it's like it could be overwhelming for the other partner.
It really can. And so like one of the things of advice I usually give people, especially when they're still in the dating scene, they're trying to like find somebody and they have like an entrepreneur spirit too, is really, it sounds so cliche, but you really want to find somebody who is really in alignment with your values, both as a person, but also with your business or your aspirations too. But the other part of that too is I think a lot of people think that means that they need someone who is super entrepreneur like super like I want to shoot for the stars and make all this money and do that too. They want to like do that with you. And I've learned that's not what that means. Because at first I thought that's kind of what I wanted. And I was like, okay, I want someone who's like I almost wanted like a Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton situation or a Michelle and Barack situation, right? And what I realized is like sometimes the best person for you can be kind of the opposite. Like my wife, she is chill. She kind of wants to stay home. I don't. She wants to kind of be with the dogs and just, whatever. I am extrovert and I want to go places, right? And one of her biggest things is she would love to be a stay-at-home mom for like a couple of years. So when we start having kids, what I've learned even in the last year is that even without having kids yet, what I'm trying to do right now is like so time consuming and having kids so time consuming. I want someone to be at home with those kids. I want someone to be there and, be there with them. And of course I am going to be too, but like I'm the one who wants to travel and speak and go to all these things and, do podcasts like this and create content and go all over the map. And, I do want to work and do my stuff for a living. And I think you should have that work life balance. But when you have that partner with you that actually wants to like lift you up, sometimes that can look like a stay at home parent. And that's like, I would argue that's the hardest role, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely one of the hardest. I know for like really like this entrepreneur's journey. Like I always had like thoughts of stuff, but to actually like put it in practice really didn't happen until like pandemic started and listened to podcasts and like we went to Atlanta for the InvestFest stuff and see all these different businesses you never even like thought of like even what even exists and seeing all these different people and like and kind of like when we came back from Atlanta, see like like my wife opened up like a business Instagram account and she got like so inspired to like business wise and kind of have that pop in my head and like even some other ideas to maybe next year like do like another vendor booth or I've done some vendor events since and kind of like
Mm-hmm.
make mistakes and try to learn from those mistakes and like go all right this is what I need to do for next year and whatever other events that do pop up so like think like trial and error like everything else but it was great to see like her like talking business and all this other stuff like see like no this is why like I've been doing for the last like 2 years and like listen to this podcast and listen to and like kind of like when you're ready to work, like you have your business and we make money together. Like we just building like together for the future. Like we there for each other, and she going to school herself, about to be done. So it's like, all right, let's build and make one way or another, make some money together, make some money together. Like, we in this together.
Exactly, right. I think that's really kind of been what I've been doing honestly since probably I would even say since I got out of grad school. I actually consider like things like being on YouTube almost like my postgraduate program because I have just been since I think 2017 or 2018, I have been just kind of studying, the ways of like starting a business because I knew very early. It wasn't like I got like fed up with the 9 to 5 life and I just want to start a business. So I think there came to be just a final straw where I was like, something's got to give. I got to get out of like this 9 to 5 life or whatever. But like I've always wanted to start a practice. I didn't know what kind of practice I wanted to start, but as soon as I knew I could be a therapist and I can go into private practice, I was like, okay, I guess that's the lane I'm going in. I'm going to figure out how to do it. In my head, I thought this was like, okay, you're going to get your license, like they say, and then you're going to get your full license and you're going to pass this exam and then you're going to go say, hey, I have a private practice, and all these clients falling into your lap. Because that's literally what every therapist says. They don't tell you like how this really works like at all for some reason. So let alone the licensing part. The licensing part took me 4 years. Like I ended up moving states and then moved back states because I figured it'd just be easier to go back to the state I graduated from and get my license. I pretty much started over and then ended up doing that for 2 more years. And so by the time I took my exam, it was 4 years in, and then it took me my fifth year before I was fully licensed and really did anything with my business at all.
Yeah, that's why I preach like they need to start teaching business fundamentals in social work school because you can't be like like get a private practice and or some marketing. Like there has to be like a whole like criteria like and it has to be part of like the in order for you to get your MSW to have that like you there has to be like something.
So nobody knows this yet, by the way, Bass, but I was actually glad you brought that up because I'm actually designing a course on that right now, like a live webinar course. I thought about making it like an online self-paced course, but I feel like everyone's just doing that now, and I feel like it's just like I don't know, like I feel like I'm at my best when I'm doing it live at least. So like even if you just want to buy the recording, but like I don't know, I'm actually designing like a whole like workshop that I would do like maybe 3 or 4 times a year or something like that. And, in between, I could also bring it to like social work schools and, have those schools pay me to actually just bring this in. And they have, I don't know if your schools ever did this. My school did this and it was just weird. I never seen any colleges, but they have like these 1 credit classes that you can do. And they would be done on weekends. So you'd go in on like a Friday and you'd be there for like 4 hours to get like the intro session done. And then you would basically do like an 8-hour Saturday, and then that was your class. You got like 1 credit towards your degree.
Oh wow. No.
I love them. I love them. You do 4 of those. That's like a whole class, and it was simple, really, but you got a lot of info out of them.
Yeah, I don't think the school I don't want to mention did that. Maybe they doing it now or since I graduated, but no, that not as far as I know was a thing. But then again, when I was in grad school, I was like kind of like just like going through the motions like,
Yeah.
between grad school and marriage, and then having like my son afterwards and internship. Like it was just a lot.
Oh, for sure. It would be a whole lot.
Yeah, so like going back to the panel event, it was just a lot of great info and what like the key takeaways for people who didn't participate in that event that you would say. Like I know you brought up a lot, I brought up a lot. Uh, Ava Ford like did a lot. It was just Catherine, social work rights, said a lot of, there was just a lot of gems. It was just a lot of great info.
There was a ton of info, right? I think that the biggest takeaway, like if you take nothing else from that particular class, it would be to live your best life and live your authentic self, right? I mean, you see this right now, like even just with my own current success on TikTok right now. Like I just have fun on TikTok. I'll be honest with you. Like I really just have fun and just go at it. And I do plan my content sometimes, but a lot of the times I'm just kind of speaking on the fly. Like if something comes to my mind or something comes up in conversation, I just start recording whatever I think there is, and I just add some, evidence-based stuff to it and that people want to hear and maybe would want to hear about it. But I just show my authentic self. Like right now, like the reason I'm going viral is just because like I didn't feel it has nothing to do with, well, it didn't have anything to do with social work and therapy. Now it kind of is because people like it so much, but like it had nothing to do with like therapy, it had nothing to do with bettering or something. It was literally like Thanksgiving clapback posts. I'm not even kidding. So it was just literally like those posts where it's like when someone calls you fat at Thanksgiving, like what you'd want to do to them type thing. And so I had like this thing where I said, Aunt Becky just said my sweater looks snug this year. So like, should I go tell? So should I just be, be the bigger person, or should I tell cousin Cindy that Jim ain't her daddy, pretty much? And this went so viral that now like I'm doing a whole series on it that like people are loving, and they want to know what's going to happen in the drama next. And it's really funny because people thought it was real too. And then I've made like 4 videos saying this is a series, so chill. Because like some people got mad too. Like on TikTok, it's funny because like most people will really support you, but the people who don't like it, they will tell you and they will like go after your page, and it's kind of intense, but it's really funny at the same time too. But like the whole point of the series, if people haven't caught on to it, like the whole point of the series I'm doing, like they think I'm just this mean person on TikTok. But once you catch on to it's a series, you're seeing that the character doing all these petty things is like they're just getting in more trouble while they're trying to sabotage someone else because they want revenge, because they want to right themselves. So that's the moral of it. Like you keep like sacrificing so much of your energy and keep screwing yourself up, but you end up in this cycle. But like, people who don't like that, they just see that it's a post and someone think it's real and think I'm being mean. But what's really funny is like this series that had nothing to do with therapy at first, it got me 7 client inquiries this week. Like they just like, I didn't even say like, hey, I'm accepting patients. I'm not, whatever. They just literally clicked on my link. They found my email. Like, hey, I want to work with you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's great. But it's almost kind of similar to social work, because some of us are in that, that kind of like cycle in the circle, or just rotating, doing the same shit, or going like from job to job, and like one nonprofit doing like another nonprofit.
Oh yeah. I was stuck in the insanity cycle for a while, honestly. In fact, oh my God, I have to give you like a major life update on here. So I think you know this already, but I don't think your audience does. Okay, so back in February, I got fired. So like no, it was March actually. No, it was March, right? Because in February, it was really funny and it was like super unexpected. So in February, I had actually just interviewed for like a supervisor position at this place I was at. And I was kind of liking it. It was enough to where I felt satisfied enough being there. I knew I wasn't thrilled to be there because like every agency, they have their drama, they have their stuff going on, their stuff that I didn't really like. But the job itself, it was so simple and easy, and it paid well for what I've seen so far that I was just like, whatever, I'll be here then. I could do this for 3 or 4 years. Like, I don't care. So I almost like put my entrepreneurship stuff aside for this. And honestly, this was a weird blessing in disguise because, February, around that time, my TikTok started blowing up, nowhere near what it is now, actually. But like, it was already kind of blowing up. And then like they also were telling me as I was interviewing for the supervisor position how like I was a great employee. I was one of the best ones they've ever seen. I write really good assessments, whatever, right? And then like 3 or 4 weeks later, they like called me in unexpectedly, like, yeah, we're letting you go. And they wouldn't tell me why. So to me, I was like left in the dark, and I'm insightful of myself to know like I have a big mouth, I run my shit, I do what I want. So I already have a feeling what it was, right? I have like 4 or 5 things. So like I'm not that dumb, but they wouldn't tell me what I did or if there was something specific or if there was a reason. They just kept it hush and please leave and get out. And so I was like in shock. And so immediately it was like, what do I got to do? I got to find a new job because now I don't have a set income. I'm trying to build my business. It's new, so there's not set income. I don't have enough to support myself on my own yet. Right. So I was like, well, what do I do? Right now, I'm not only building my business, but I'm in a fee for service, contract role, like I said. And the only thing I really could do was rely on that. And I knew I wasn't at a point where I wanted to be. So I just kind of said, okay, I'm gonna have to get another job. Well, I learned very quickly that being fired does not tarnish you getting a job in social work because I got a job 3 days later. So that built my confidence right back up. Now, it was an agency where like I actually did this strategically. I went to an agency to motivate me to get out of the 9 to 5. And I said, I want to be out of an agency in 6 months. So I actually applied to a few agencies that were just so bad that I was like, I know I'm not going to be here for a year. I just know I'm not going to be. I'm intentionally going into this to get a check, to get the money I need for right now, and I'm going to leave, right? So I said bye. I think it was like September, October. I was like, I'm going to leave here. I'm going to be doing my contract role. I'm going to be doing my business, or I'm going to be doing both. But either way, I'm not going to be limited to this anymore, right? So I got there in like April, and then by like the middle of May, I was so traumatized that I just quit. And I just said, if I can't make this work on my own, like I guess either it was basically sink or swim. I either make private therapy work, or I guess I'm just not going to be a therapist, honestly. Lo and behold, I made it work. I actually went really viral again, and I got like 50 therapy inquiries in like a week.
Wow.
Yeah, like it between TikTok, and then a little bit came from like Facebook groups and referrals from other therapists and things like that. But a lot of it was like TikTok and social media, and it just really worked out for me. It was almost like everything just aligned perfectly. And in fact, I actually don't hold any animosity to the company that fired me, because like honestly, if they didn't fire me, I wouldn't have had the courage to quit a toxic job without a real game plan in place and make it work.
Mm. Now, is there like any like hashtags? I know I follow you on TikTok, so I know you do a lot of like dancing. You just being yourself, but like if there's like a trick to the trade to do the get kind of inquiries, or if you're trying to sell something in your business, like is there like a secret you got going on you want to share?
I would say that my biggest secret is I do a 2/3 content method. So what I mean by that is 2/3 of my content is going to be dedicated to my niche. So my niche is trauma-informed ADHD therapy. And then, I usually throw in there also that I'm from Michigan, because right now I'm only licensed in Michigan. I can only take Michigan clients, whatever. So that filters out a lot of people, right? So because I used to actually get like so many people from like California or Nevada, just states I just couldn't take because I'm not licensed. So I try to make sure in all those type of videos, like I mentioned somewhere either in the caption or in the video that I'm from Michigan, but like it has to do with my information of me being a therapist and doing that kind of stuff. The other third of my content is pure entertainment or authenticity. So it's my funny comedy skits that are, like I said, they're going viral right now. Got me a couple more, therapy inquiries. It's just, me telling jokes about being a therapist. It's just me enjoying my day, right? Just, it might even be like, I sometimes combine the two, and occasionally I'll throw out like a day in the life of a private therapist vlog or something like that. And I'll speak to other therapists and tell them how I'm doing what I'm doing too, because I document there and on my Instagram. My Instagram is especially dedicated to like entrepreneurship and stuff like that for therapists. But I do it on my TikTok a little bit too. But that immediately tells my clients I'm a therapist, because sometimes I don't know I'm a therapist. If you don't mention it, they're not going to know. Right. But I'll mention it there. I put the stuff in my bio. I put my link in my bio to where they can read my Psychology Today, or right now it's my website actually. But they have all the information right there. So that way, I'm not really having to like constantly be like, hey, I'm available. So you don't have to be sleazy with it. You just know you're available. And occasionally you make one like that, just to let them know, hey, I'm taking people or whatever. But at the end of the day, like you need to just have fun with your content. Hashtags. I used to do set hashtags. I don't do that anymore. I hashtag it 3 to 5 things. And I just make the caption something funny or short, because I think that the thing with TikTok is that you want to be as quick with it as possible. So they don't want to see things over and over again. And also you want everything to be relatable to the content piece. So it's actually searchable, or it shows up on someone's For You page, because the algorithm really sees what you're already looking up. So chances are if I show up as like an ADHD therapist on someone's page, they're probably either looking up stuff about ADHD or related things like that already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. through a lot of gems there, because my TikTok be struggling like.
that is my whole coaching thing for therapists in like 90 seconds, by the way. That's like, if you just listen to these 90 seconds, don't pay me. Just go, you might make it,
No, it's good, because kind of like within like the last year, almost 2 years now, kind of like TikTok has taken over like social media more than Instagram. I know Instagram's been doing some changes to try to make it more like engageable, I guess, compared to how it was like back in the day, 2014, 2015, or even before that. So, and then Facebook's kind of like, it's kind of got this like
Facebook is
bad.
really good for people. Like if you're looking to get referrals from actual therapists, Facebook groups is still really good. Like Facebook itself is like kind of meh, but if you go into like community groups, that is a really good place to go to like, you know, I don't want to say plug your, I have a whole thing for Facebook groups because I think what a lot of therapists do is they go on Facebook groups and they're like, I'm a therapist accepting patients, come find me, right? And that's just like, it just seems sketch, but like people just post that all the time. What I do is I take like personal things. I'll like put a picture of myself in there, right? And I'll tell like a personal story that's like inspirational or something like that, you know? Like recently I actually posted, I took this down from my Instagram because there was like a weird typo in the picture and I have to redo it. But like I talked about Beth, I never talked about this on anyone's podcast either. So you're getting like a whole bunch of shit tonight, just so you know. But like I talked about with my ADHD, how my parents actually, up until I was about, I think it was 25, they oversaw my finances. So even after I became a therapist, I had such bad spending habits and impulsivity that like I had a point where my parents were like, either you need to like let us control part of your life or you need to like not be in our house, because they were giving me free rent to stay in college and I was like ruining my financial life. So I was like, okay. And then I got together after 3 years. But then even after that, as I'm going to school and doing all these other things, you know, at that point, I started actually at one point running for city council and I started doing other stuff while in like grad school too, even. It just became easier for them to control my life financially. So I just kind of let them for a little longer than I really should have. And, you know, finally at 25, I was like, okay, I think I'm ready to be a real adult in the world. And so took over my own stuff again. But like my ADHD was that bad, right? So, you know, I ended up going from that. I posted this story about this in Instagram as well as Facebook groups. I posted about it, I think, in 3 Facebook groups. It went viral in like all 3 of them. And I actually got like a lot of people who were like, a lot of therapists, especially, that were like, I want to refer people to you. I want you to come speak for my practice. I want you to come here. And so I do that now. I share like just a tad bit of my personal life or just a tad bit of like inspirational stories, because I think people are just tired of the traditional posts that a lot of these practices do a lot. It almost gives like money, like, what do they call it? Money grab
Hungry.
that. Yeah.
I like that. I think you just gave me an idea. No, it's true. Like people are really, I guess people are really craving authenticity, and I think now is such a great time just being yourself and make some money. Like it might take some time, and like, you know, gotta have some patience, and sometimes like you really like want it right now, and it's like, okay, just plant seeds. That's pretty much what I've been kind of focused like the last few months, is just planting seeds and see where it leads, and getting, you know, a couple leads already, and it's like, all right, like kind of like try to plan things out, and just I just let God God do his magic, whatever pops up, and then we go from there.
Absolutely.
Now, you know, as we record today, World AIDS Day, and I know me working with clients affected with HIV. You know, shout out to everyone affected by the terrible virus, and those who passed away. I didn't want to go out this episode without mentioning that. No, what? No, you know, you mentioned some stuff you already got planning. What for 2023? What are you like looking forward to? What you want to do? Would it be business or what have you? Any secrets you got going on?
Oh my God. Okay, let me think what I can actually share right now, because there's some stuff that's like undercover right now that I can't talk about. Well, right now I'm arranging and planning for 2, actually 3 now. Now that I think about it, I'm planning for 3 talks. In addition to my ASWB class ending, that's gonna be February 9th from, I believe, 5:30 to 9:30. It's gonna be held virtually, and then if you are in Michigan, it's gonna be held in the Metro Detroit area. venue to be announced later, but we're trying to figure that out right now. But just keep an eye out for that, and make sure you guys go get your pay what you can ticket. So in person is going to be $29.95 full price, and then if you're virtual, you can have different ticket tiers and pay all the way as little as $1 as long as tickets are still available. So just make sure you guys go grab them, and grab them up. It's going to be big this summer, or the spring. Winter. Yeah, winter. My goodness. It's coming up in like 2 months here, and then in the spring and summer, I have 2 big talks coming up, and then in late summer I have a third that's still pending. So all this is pending. So just so you guys know, like the 3 of them are just pending right now, but a lot of stuff's going to be happening right now for my business. Like right now, I am very focused on getting my business paneled. I'm getting licensed in different states. So right now, as I record this, I'm in Indiana right now. I'm trying to get licensed in Indiana so I can provide services virtually to people there. I eventually want to move back here. I lived here for 2 years, and I want to move back to Indianapolis so bad. And I brought my wife, and it was like, you would think no one would want to move to freaking Corn Cob, Indiana, but like if you come to Indianapolis, it's so cool here. Like it's just such a different vibe. It's such a different vibe than the rest of the state. They have so many nature trails. They have so many things to just do in the city and downtown. They have something for everybody. Like if you're a city person or a country person or kind of both or whatever, they have everything here, and it's all in like one spot. So it's really cool. But yeah, like I have so many things coming up with that. My practice, I want to be expanded into at least one other state by the end of the year. And we're looking to ultimately hire eventually contractors who want to be ADHD therapists. So if you are in Michigan, Indiana, or really any other state, because we're looking at where we should expand next too, right? But if you're in any of those areas, make sure you keep posted to my Instagram and TikTok, because I will be announcing those throughout the year when we're going to start taking people. But I want to ultimately create the largest network of affordable ADHD specialist therapists for all the way from children to adolescents to even adults.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's a lot happening there.
It's a lot. It is absolutely a lot. And if anyone's looking to up their game for their own practice or their own solopreneur therapy practice, I do take people on a case-by-case basis for social media coaching, and I help you guys do those things profitably in the best way possible so you can have the most fun as well as ethically too, because that's very important, because I think a lot of social workers don't really know how to navigate the ethics of social media while having fun with it too and making money. So make sure you guys are doing that ethically, because Big Brother is always watching.
Exactly. Where can people find you?
They can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Justin Gillespie LMSW. You can also find me at my website, www.justingillespie.lmsw.com. And that is how you can get in touch with me as well. It has my phone number as well as my email there. And then you can always direct message me on Instagram as well. I'm waiting on the day TikTok allows you to like message people that don't follow you back yet, because that's like a whole feature that I need to go down. I need it to get fixed. I've had so many deals like close, like in the DMs of Instagram, but now that I'm doing like TikTok more, it's like the one thing. So I have to direct them to the link, and it's like, I have to rely on them to go. And once they put that in where I can DM someone, it's like over. It's just over.
Do you have to put in like on TikTok, put in your EIN number just to have the link on the profile?
Your EIN number. I've never had to do that. No. You have to have, if I remember correctly, you have to have 1,000 followers to get the link. Unless they changed it. Let me double check, because recently they changed some things. Let me just check real fast before we get off. But I know to go live on TikTok, you have to have 1,000 followers. That unlocks the live feature. So there's incentives to keep going on the app too. So let me look. How many?
That's things they don't talk about on the TikTok.
Yeah, let me see right here, because if you have under 10,000 followers, the only way that you can provide a clickable link is through your bio on your profile. If you have If you have under, the only way you can click is through your bio on your profile. If you have over 10,000, you can add clickable links to your TikTok stories. Oh, I didn't know that. That must be a brand new feature, actually. I have to look and see if I can do that one yet. Because sometimes like they'll announce like new things you can do, and then like you can't do them, because then eventually updates to you like one at a time. It's really weird. But yeah, like if you have a certain amount of followers on TikTok, you do end up unlocking the link in bio feature. And then what ends up happening there I mean, that just changes the game for you. But if you run a business account, then you can actually get that. The only problem with having an actual business account is that you can't use a lot of the trending sounds that are going on because a lot of them are copyrighted. But if you're a it's so stupid. It's really stupid. If you're a creator, you can pretty much do whatever you want. But if you're a business, then that means like it's really, I don't know, it's really weird. Like they can
Yeah,
basically remove you if like you're advertising yourself as an individual, but you're actually a business. But I'm advertising myself as an individual that's an individual working for my business. So it's one of those weird legalities. It's just like it's really hard to explain, but they won't take me down for it. But like if I were to say my business name, Thriving Enhanced Services, under a personal account, then they would take it down. And it's just really dumb.
that's stupid because you could easily be like a spokesman or like have you could like finagle it away like you're a paid spokesman for the business, even though it's your business.
Exactly. Well, one of the things I tell people too, and this is like a really good to actually even end off on here real quick before we get to the end. I tell people all the time that people don't really want to work with your business. They want to work with you. They don't want to work with these practices. If they want to work with these practices, I'm telling you right now, in every city or every county in every single state, there is about 1 to 4 big agency names that everybody who's looking for mental health knows about. And if they cared about just getting in somewhere, they're going to go there because chances are they're going to be able to take them and they'll be able to probably take them quickly. They're not going to treat them with quality because if they take people that quickly, especially in today's age, my goodness, like they will. Big agencies like that, I'm gonna put it this way: there shouldn't be a wait list, but like if there is not a wait list with big agencies today with the mental health crisis we have going on, they're probably bootlegged. Their therapists are probably overbooked beyond belief, and you're not going to get quality care at all. So don't advertise your business name, especially before you're established. Like if you have a business name, put it in your profile, put it in there so people can see like you have a legit business, whatever. But advertise yourself. Advertise, I provide this service through my business, not this is my business that does this. They want to work with you. They want to work with someone authentic. They want to work with someone real.
I like that. That's another great gem. That's important. That sure, I'm at to write that down for me so that I could focus and do that. Or anybody, because I know like there's so many of us, social workers, therapists that have their whether it be full-time business or their side business on the side, and that some want to make their full-time business and quit their jobs and stuff like that. So you gave a lot of great info like you usually do, and keep up the great work with all your success, and let me know what you got going on, and we could collab for next year.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if I can touch on one more thing, only because you
Yes,
just said
absolutely.
it, I want to like just leave this for your audience real quick because I know there's a lot of people who think of entrepreneurship and social work and they don't know if they want to do it full time or not. Let me tell you something. Let's just take the argument because on my Instagram I'll argue with you, but here I'm not going to argue with you, right? So let's take this argument of we're not in it for the money, right? We just want to help people and make a living to just pay our bills. Okay, we'll debate that later. Whatever. I'll meet you halfway. If you could do that with your own niche, with your own expertise, under your own management in a way that you know how to do that's ethically better, and you can do that in anywhere between 12 to 20 hours a week compared to 40 and make that same amount that you're making at community mental health or whatever agency you're at right now, why won't you do it? Why wouldn't you not only do what you love, but give yourself that time back to make that same amount of money, to give yourself inner peace, to be with your friends or your family, or be at home and pet your dog. You know what I mean? Like just be at home and chill. And why do you, if you don't want to be in the $100,000 club, that's fine. I don't shade anyone for that. But why would you not want time back? Why would you not want that location freedom back? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. No, absolutely. I know for myself, I spend 3 hours a day just driving to work and coming back home. So it's like, definitely love to have like that time to even just take the kids to school, like something as simple as that, or whatever, or take the kids driving to the bus stop and see them ride off in the bus to school. So it's that you make a whole lot of sense. I think more people are realizing that, which is why I see more and more people with their businesses or whatever, or really, I think kind of that pandemic really kind of amplified that even more. Try to get their time back
Yeah.
and try to make that money, but also get their time back and their peace of mind back. And like, all right, like, and we all realize that even more that no job is really safe, not even in social work during the
Mm-hmm.
pandemic. So
Absolutely. And you know what? I think a lot of social workers and even people in the labor force in general right now,
mm-hmm.
I think they're starting to slowly shift out of side hustle mentality because I'm seeing a lot of businesses with the side hustle mentality. I just want this here to get 5 or 10 more hours of work a week to make this little extra bread money, right? I'm telling you guys right now, if you don't get out of side hustle money or side hustle mindset, it's going to cost you first of all more money. And I'm going to tell you why in a minute. It's going to cost you more money. It's going to cost you your health. It's going to cost you your stress. Because I guarantee you, if nothing else, if you are spending 10 hours a week on just boohoo money, I call it, then what's going to end up happening is, first of all, you're going to be spending a lot more money on DoorDash because you're stress eating, you're trying to keep yourself going, you're trying stuff, whatever, right? I know building my business and my social media brand, I've spent more money on DoorDash this year. And that's like a big thing right before 2023 is like, I want to get back into health and fitness and getting into stuff like that. But like, I've built this and gotten into habits I don't personally like, but like, I've gotten up to that point to have more freedom ultimately, at least. So, but I know if you're working 50, 60 hours a week, just doing a side hustle and your full-time job, I know you're engaging in some sort of unhealthy habit, whether that be, not being nutrient dense with your body, not be working out, not even just giving yourself fun. You know what I mean? There's people doing all this stuff and not even having fun with their life. And then they don't even know where that side hustle money went. Honestly, they don't save it. They don't do anything with it, but they impulse buy it with it too, right? So that's a problem in and of itself. So keep that in mind. The next time you try to get into a side hustle, what is that ultimately really costing you in time? And any health issues you get because of overworking, that money is going to be paid back in medical bills in a couple years.
Yeah, definitely. Sleeping is definitely a big
sleep. Yes. That's the one thing I've made sure this year is like, if I don't do anything else, I'm getting sleep. I've gotten full 8 hours every day since going full time for myself, honestly.
No, that's great. I envy you for that because I can't.
I love sleep.
I love my sleep, but my body is like, all right, you got so used to waking up like at 4, so to go to work. Mm-hmm. So like by 7, I'm like wide awake even on Saturday or Sunday. I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm waking up at 7:00 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
But
what time are you going to bed?
It depends on the day. Like I could like easily like fall asleep on the couch like 9:30 and then like wake up at 1 just to go to the bedroom for sleep. Or I'm sleeping like after 11 and I still gotta wake up at 4 to go to work. But like I want to like sleep in on the weekends and I can't.
Okay, here's what you're gonna do. Okay, this is not a sleep episode. I'm just gonna give you this advice right now. You're gonna go to bed every single night from now on at 11:30, and you're gonna wake up every single day at between 7 and 7:30.
Oh, I can't. I gotta be at work at 7:30.
So you gotta wake up at 7, or what time do you gotta get up?
Usually I wake up like 4:30.
You gotta get up at 4:30 and then be at work at 7:30.
Yeah.
Why wait? What are you doing 3 hours before? Are you doing breakfast and everything?
It takes an hour and a half just to go to work.
I forgot you live in Delaware, don't you?
Yeah.
Where do you work right now? What state? Are you still working in Delaware, or do you go to other states?
Yeah, I still work in Delaware. I just work like down south.
Okay, I didn't know if you went to New York or what. I don't know like what's nearby and what's not. So like I'm just like, where are you at right now? Okay. Well, you have a unique situation. We're gonna talk about your sleep schedule later. Like,
That's another episode.
We're gonna get your sleep in, no problem.
On that note,
get your sleep, guys. Like you're not gonna make money if you don't sleep.
Yeah, absolutely.